Welcome to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn. We are talking about what's going on with rates, what's going on in real estate, how to get your real estate plan going. First thing is to go to WeBringYouHome.com, Bruce, to get the mortgage started.
Get
fast track.
Right
I actually, my taxes will be done next week or two.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to get fast tracked again because I want to be ready. I want to buy two more houses.
You do it. We have a guarantee. You do fast track loan approval. I guarantee an on-time closing 21 days, or I pay up to $500 a day for every day we miss the closing.
And I've got great buys here. I got a lakefront house in Deltona, $340,000, 2,000 square feet with a pool, getting a new roof, and you are lakefront. And this is not a pond. This is fishable lake frontage. Can't have any motorboats on it, but great view out back. Turn on the street outside, so you got kind of a pie-shaped lot over a third of an acre, and plus a brand new roof. Inside, we need a little bit of paint and carpet, but I've got people to help you with that. But $340,000, that is the best priced waterfront home.
That's a good price for a house
in Deltona. Yeah, in Deltona. So Winter Springs, the Highlands, for $532,000, 2,000 square feet. Here's another oversized lot, third of an acre. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, full $100,000 remodel on the inside.
Incredible.
Bruce. This one looks like should be in the magazines. The backyard, hardscape, terraced layers of brick paver patio out back, a screen patio, playground for the kids, no neighbors behind you, $532,000 in the Highlands on a cul-de-sac. And then we've got in Winter Garden, gated neighborhood, $479,000. You can ride your golf cart to downtown Winter Garden, which is just exploding with growth. Nice restaurants and everything. In fact, I'm heading to the Hangry Bison later this week to meet some friends. 1,900 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, split plan with a formal living and a remote family room for $479,000 there. And then Palisades in Claremont. Was a golf community. The golf course is now we've got conservation out behind the house. $445,000, 2,100 square feet, 3.2. Very in St. Cloud. The builders are building these same homes for around $399, Bruce.
Very good.
So you want to take a look at any of these, give me a call at 407-352-8118. We'd be happy to help you take a look around.
Fantastic. So, and if you want to get your mortgage process started, start right now. It was interesting. I was talking to a client because I always survey my clients and my realtors on how good of a job are we doing. I always want to take the pulse of how are we doing for you. And I was asking the client, I said, you went through the loan process to apply for your loan at WeBringYouHome.com. Since I don't see the same thing the client does when they're going through the process, I want to know what it's like. And she says, Bruce, I got to tell you, it was the simplest, easiest process that anyone could follow. Matter of fact, if you don't even know how to use a computer, it would be easy enough to follow that process. So if you want to get your application started, I can promise you we can take great care of you. Go to WeBringYouHome.com. I've got purchases, refinances, cash out, equity lines. I created a program for high credit score borrowers. If you got a credit score over 750 and a debt ratio under 45%, I've got a superior loan interest rate for you. We designed it because the market does not allow for that, but the Loan Arranger does. Call, text, or go to WeBringYouHome.com. We're also doing tons of these self-employed people right now. And I guess it's because it's tax season, Cleve, but your bank statement programs are very, very popular right now. And our DSCRs, my DSCR with a prepayment penalty, you got to buy the prepayment penalty because you can do with or without a prepayment penalty. With a prepayment penalty, I can have a DSCR, high credit score borrower, same interest rate as a conventional investor loan.
Good Lord. That's
same
great.
rate.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I
That is
locked
awesome.
in several in the sixes. Now we're talking about a loan where you're not even providing pay stubs, W-2s, or tax returns.
Yep. It's just based on what the
Just the
property rents
rent on
for.
the property.
Just the rent on the property.
So you want a great product, want a great program, got 25, 30% to put down.
This is
I've
the
got the
important part
product.
of knowing how to negotiate on something. The first part would be getting with Bruce, getting your loan fast track, finding out what you can afford, finding out your price. But when you start on negotiations as a buyer, Bruce, I say the biggest mistake I see out there is the buyer just picks a random number. They're looking at homes. If their agent has done their job, that's the key part. Most of the time they haven't. Is if let's say they're a $500,000 buyer, they should
Right.
look at 520. They should look at 500. They should look at 480. They should look around the areas they want, check different areas if they want, but they should see the advantages and disadvantages of those areas, and they should see. Call me. I'll give you a lesson on how to negotiate a contract, because if you write up something like that, you don't deserve to be in real estate. It really frustrates me when I get these crazy offers. They say, well, I have to do what the client wants. I'm like, well, your job is to educate them.
I have to do what the client wants.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, you rode the short bus to your office. So let's get out there and let's learn a little bit about real estate, show them comparable sales. But the trouble is these agents haven't learned how to do this. They don't know how to do a market analysis. They don't say, I've had them tell me, well, that property's been on the market for 60 days. Well, did you notice that it was reduced twice? And it is still the best price home per square foot anywhere around. That means the house is going to probably sell for 97, 98, 99% of what it's listed.
Yeah, 90,
It's
at
not
least
going to sell for
97%
80% of what it's listed for. I haven't had that happen in any market. So if you want some help, or actually if you're not getting this kind of instruction, you really are serious about your real estate career, call me at 407-352-8118.
So what happens if they already have somebody that's got their home listed? So what advice do you have them to be able to get out of the listing and hire you to list the property? Because you can't solicit anybody.
I can't. If they're listed, no. It's against our code of ethics. But if a seller's having trouble and not getting weekly, I give my sellers weekly updates. I give them about every 2 to 3 weeks. We get a market update. If you didn't sell, who did? My team responds to calls. If you haven't heard from your realtor, every time you call them, they're on a European cruise, something's wrong. I literally had this happen, Bruce. They're like the realtors like saying that buyers are coming by the house and knocking on the door because their realtor's on a cruise and won't show them the property.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it's happened to him. Like she was on a 3-week cruise and came back and went on a round the world cruise. So this stuff happens. So, but I think if you're, make sure when you list your property, like with us, I don't have a cancellation fee. I don't have people
Matter of fact,
cancel.
so you're saying that they can fire you at any time with no recourse.
I don't charge a cancellation fee. I want to help people get to the next point with their real estate plan.
And if you don't like what you have to offer, then fire you.
And
I'm the same way. I don't have an application.
I haven't had anybody fire me for being a knucklehead. I've had people say, wait a minute, we're going to wait. We're not the right time. We're going to hold on. We're going to wait till the mortgage is paid down more. We're going to wait for the market to recover. We're buyers. We're going to wait for rates to come down because we're not seeing what we like, those kinds of things. But that's what you need, that kind of guarantee from an agent. And I've got people right now. One agent had a property listed, changed offices, and technically took the listing with her. Never got paperwork done. Never got paperwork done.
That listing belongs to the broker, not to the agent.
Exactly. And this broker didn't even know this had been done.
I bet the broker didn't even know he had a listing
by the rogue agent. And I asked the people where's their office at? They go, oh, wherever Barstool's closest. So
can somebody fire their agent if they're not getting those results?
There's termination clauses in the listing contract, but you got to be aware. So there are penalties in there usually.
So if somebody said, hey, look, I'm not getting the results from my listing agent right now. Cleve, can you look at my agreement with them?
Yeah.
Is that okay for you to do?
Sure.
You just can't call somebody and go, hey, your agent sucks. Why don't you come to me?
When I show them what we do, they go, okay, this is what we've been missing. But the main thing is knowing that when you sign up for a listing contract, I've seen people doing 1-year listings, Bruce. Don't do that. I mean, if I
don't do that.
I do a regular, basically my listing
and
is
make
1
sure
day.
the listing agent doesn't have has a cancellation fee, a no payment cancellation
I've had
fee.
people nickel and dime them over sign install fees, over photos, over miles to and from the properties, things like that. It's just terrible.
Cleve Loveland, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. So on the buy side, now buyer's agents have to have a buyer broker agreement signed where the client's going to guarantee to pay them their commission, right?
Yep.
How often are you actually seeing the buyer pay you and you're not getting it from the seller?
Very rare. I
Almost
haven't
never,
I
right?
haven't come across any listings that are paying zero commission. And I'd venture a guess because nobody's showing them, first of all,
Right.
because it severely handicaps, especially a first time buyer. Most of what's moving right now, Bruce, the median price, those homes in the 300,000 range or those condos in the 200,000 range, most of those homes, even if they're in the higher range, the buyer knows what they can afford and what they want, and they know what their down payment's going to be. And let's say there's zero commission, and the commission was going to be 4%. I'm just picking a number, 4% to the buyer's agent. And they have zero on that house. They got to make that offer either 4% lower
Right.
or ask for 4% towards closing costs, if that can be done.
Right.
And it might just price the buyer out of the market. Let's say it's a $700,000 house and they've only got they've got $80,000, $90,000 and they need some closing costs paid already. That deal can't be done. So that house won't get shown. So the law hopefully has flushed out some part-time realtors and flushed out some hobbyists.
Well, it's interesting because
it's about knowing your
I
numbers.
heard a for sale by owner guy. It was telling realtors, hey, I'll pay you 3% if you sell my house, but I didn't want to list. And it was interesting because I thought, okay, if you are working with, if you have listings that are paying you your listing fee, it would be crazy. And you have a fiduciary responsibility to market those properties, not the one that's not paying you. So it's the same with the buyer's agent.
Yep.
If you're not getting, if you're not getting paid by the seller and that listing doesn't pay that buyer's agent's commission,
Yep.
Who's going to show the property?
Nobody.
No one's going to show the property.
You want top dollar, Bruce? You expose your home to everybody.
100%.
And there's 20,000 realtors. Let's say there's 2,000 realtors in Central Florida that work hard, but they've got the buyers in their car. They've got the ones you've pre-approved. They've got ones you've fast tracked. They are in the back seat of realtors' cars. They are not wandering around by themselves, driving up and down random streets or checking out Zillow ads that for sale by owners place on there. For sale by owners, on average, sell for 10% less than they do when they're listed because the seller doesn't know what's going on.
And 90% of them end up listing.
Yes, they do. So, but when I want to jump back to negotiations, Bruce, when you're a seller in this market, you want to give a counter offer to everybody. Even that agent I was saying should not present the offer that's 80,000 below list price. Give a counter offer to that and give a couple choices. I give choices. I go back with a couple scenarios saying, hey, if you don't want the closing costs, this is how much. If you want more closing costs, this is how much.
Exactly.
I explain all these numbers to agents and I go through and show them this is how we could make a deal. I have to do this because their bosses, they don't have sales managers. They've got compliance departments. They don't have somebody that's shown them how to figure out, wow, this buyer's qualified to 600,000. We're looking at $500,000 homes. This should be a slam dunk. And the payment's only going to be 3,500. The buyer said he's comfortable with a $4,000 payment. And I sent one the other day. We were $7,000 apart.
Oh boy.
And I said, let's meet in the middle.
That's a deal that can be worked. If
That's
you can't
about
come together on $7,000.
Well, the agent said goodbye, sent us a breakup email saying, I'm sorry, we just can't do this. We can't. And I saw the qualifications and I said, do you realize that was like, I did the payment. It was like $20 more a month. I said, you telling me they can't, this is their payment and they can't go $20 a month higher?
Right.
And she called back later on, go, okay, we got a deal. Like just the lack of education out there. And I don't want to hold that against the buyer.
No, you don't want to hold it against the buyer.
I want to make a deal.
I see shenanigans happening on both sides. Listing agents telling you they got multiple offers coming in and they really don't. And, I know it's a game that they play, but the fact of the matter is if you find a house that's the house that you like, work hard to come to a deal on it.
Yeah.
Because you lose that home and like you said, for $20 a month.
Yeah.
And now you got to go buy a home.
You got to start over.
You start all over again.
And this is it, Bruce. In this market, both mom and dad, and I'm sure you see more of this right now, both mom and dad are working.
Absolutely.
Rates are higher. Economy's not great. And it's going to take a while for the Trumpster to get things going. So it's better off that they get going now with their plan. Figure out, know your numbers. Call me at 407-352-8118 or call Bruce
at 407-250-9144. Go to WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Cleve and I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Radio Show. We've got a lot to cover. We missed a few things, and I want to cover new construction and construction perm loans as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.